Okay, today is the 21st of February. I'm dating this video because I don't know when I'm going to upload it. I don't know when it's going to happen. I've been having a lot of trouble with YouTube uploads recently. But straight to the point of the video, whenever I do political commentary, it's not going to be dated properly. And I know it loses its newsworthiness, but I just don't have time to have a not even daily thing, but like if I see something that I want to talk about, I can't necessarily just make a video that day and upload it that day, just because of everything going on in my life. There's only certain times that I can use to upload videos. So I was watching CNN yesterday, and I'm going to pull up the website, which I will give you guys a link to. But I was watching CNN. I think it was Wolf Blitzer Situation Room. And this guy, James Clyburn, a Democrat from South Carolina. I'm just going to read the page. It says, Democratic Representative James Clyburn of South Carolina said Thursday that GOP governors who oppose the stimulus bill are giving African Americans a, quote, slap in the face, end quote. Clyburn has been sparring with his state's governor, Republican Mark Sanford, who has been a leading voice of opposition to the stimulus package. But the highest-ranking African-American in Congress said his frustration with the bill's opponents isn't limited to Sanford. The governor of Louisiana expressed opposition, Clyburn said, of the bill at the roundtable in Columbia. So, on some kind of local news station. So here we have a Democratic congressman who is speaking out against two Republican governors, saying that they are slapping African Americans in the face, when these two governors are patriots, Mark Sanford of South Carolina and Bobby Jindal of Louisiana, to refuse stimulus money and say, you know what, none of this money is going to touch anything within our state borders at all. They're patriots because, first of all, it's constitutionally questionable for the government to do this, for Congress to do this. And I have not made videos in strong opposition to the stimulus package in the past. People who know me know I strongly oppose it, and now everyone here knows it as well. And secondly, it's not going to work. I mean, just study economics, okay? So those are the two reasons why these two governors are doing this. And they should be patriots. They should be called patriots. They shouldn't be called or blamed for slapping African Americans in the face, because apparently those are the people within those two states, those communities would receive most of the stimulus funding, I think was his reasoning. And I heard Wolf Blitzer say that my governor, Rick Perry, Texas governor, and Sarah Palin of Alaska are considering doing the same thing, and that would be fantastic, because there are only three ways that government can raise money. They borrow, they print, or they tax. And the stimulus and bailouts that both George Bush and now Barack Obama have done or have signed in, both legislatures are to blame. Borrow and print. You borrow, you increase the debt. You print, you inflate the currency, and inflation occurs. Prices rise. And the dollar is destroyed. Austrian economists like Peter Schiff are predicting hyperinflation in the United States, just like in Germany. So for these two governors to be treated this way, I just got new contacts in, I think is horrible. And I was speaking with a friend at lunch, or dinner, about it yesterday. And he said, it's, first of all, the state legislatures could override the governor's decision to not accept the money. Just give it back. And that's possible. However, if the federal government sues either Louisiana or South Carolina, and the Supreme Court, it does work its way up to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court actually takes it, My friend said likely the Commerce Clause will be called giving the federal government the win and go ahead, which is horrible. How that clause, Congress shall regulate commerce among the several states, has warped and developed into the federal government is going to do those three things in order to raise money and force it upon the states. The federal government forcing and its will on all of the states that created it. And I thought that blew my mind. I said, well, why do we even have states, right? I mean, we should have just had the federal government appoint governors like Alexander Hamilton wanted in 1787 during the Philadelphia Connection, when he stood up and gave that crazy speech. It's the liberty of the states' rights that I'm concerned about and that I take issue with. It's the media and their spin on what these governors are doing to protect the liberty of their citizens within the states. And it's also the fact that, do I want to get into a constitutional thing? Anyone, go look up Amendments 9 and 10. Basically, amendments... Basically, they mean, or the 10th Amendment, we're going to just go with the 10th Amendment, that all powers not enumerated to the federal government, not expressly delegated to the federal government, are reserved to the states. Meaning anything that the federal government cannot do in the Constitution that isn't there, not written, those powers belong to the states and the people. So, there have been so many breaches in history of this 10th Amendment, but very seriously now. And I just think it's horrible. I'm not sure what else to say about this. These are my notes for this video. There we go. Really different names. And send me some comments about this, your opinions. I know that there are some hardcore neo-federalists out there who would argue from Hamilton's point of view that the United States, or the federal government, was not created by the states and has the right philosophically to impose will, which, fine, philosophically, if that's what Hamilton wanted, but who cares, because that's not what's written in the document.